What's up, everybody? It's your boy Jevone, and welcome to Jevone's Perspective. Listen, y'all, this is my first podcast. I'm doing a podcast.
You really about to do it?
Jevone is doing a podcast.
Thinking on it like that.
Hey, I'm tripping, I'm sliding, I'm riding through the back like fuck. Bust that on a beat, bro, deep, bro,
Where he has to be vulnerable and open and honest and authentically himself to people that he may not even know. And why I'm speaking in third person, I don't know. But listen, it's me. I'm here. I'm excited. I'm on this healing journey. And I really genuinely want you guys to come along with me. I was speaking to a friend of mine recently, and she was like, you would do really good at a podcast. And she gave me that encouragement. I'm going to shout her out. Her name is Janelle. I am so excited for this podcast, y'all. I've been wanting to do it for a long time. And here we are. This is a space where I can keep it real. About life, about healing, and everything in between. Look, I've been through a lot. I had my ups and downs, but I know firsthand how messy life can be, but how beautiful and yet transformative the journey of growth can be. Look, this podcast is my way of sharing my experiences, insights, and lessons learned. I hope that it helps you see life from a new angle. We're going to be talking about a lot of things on this show, like I said, everything from love, relationships, politics, mental health, sex, fashion, and more. Nothing, and I mean nothing, is off limits because real conversations lead to real growth. Sometimes it just gets crazy in this world, and sometimes you need a place to vent and open up and talk. This is the place. This is the place where that's going to happen. Sometimes it's just going to be me on this show, but other times I'm going to bring guests to share their wisdom. But no matter what, you can expect honest, open conversations, yet sometimes uncomfortable discussions. But you know what? That's where the magic happens. That's the magic of growth. Let's go. Wherever you are right now, thank you so much for tuning in. So listen, grab your drink. Listen, grab your coffee, your tea, whatever your snacks. Some of you got big backs out there. I don't know. I'm just kidding. But listen, grab your snacks because I'm actually got one right here, right now. I'm going to have one. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. In today's episode, I wanted to be intentional about this. Because I'm on a healing journey, I think that it's important that I discuss and talk about my healing journey so that way I can inspire someone else. So thank you so much for tuning in, and let's go. So today's episode is really, really close to my heart. I believe in choosing yourself. I believe that it's important, and so many of us, consciously or subconsciously neglect ourselves. Ultimately doing ourselves a disservice. I mean, how many of us have done that? But today I really want to shift that mindset. We deserve to prioritize ourselves. We deserve to prioritize the things that make us happy and bring us peace. We've done it so much for other people. It's time to show up for you, and that has been my motto for 2025, to show up for myself. Oftentimes I can get caught up in everybody else and everything else and ensuring that everybody else is good. And I found myself compensating and pouring into people that weren't really pouring into me. And that goes from relationships, friendships, all kinds of things. But this year I said I wanted to prioritize myself. So yeah, we'll talk about a lot of things and what it really means to choose yourself. Why is it not selfish but necessary? You hear what I say? Not selfish but necessary to choose yourself. And how we can start making ourselves a priority in our own lives. This podcast will be very raw, very authentic, and I just want to show up as my authentic self. But I just want you guys to bear with me because I will be sharing and being vulnerable and being open. And I want to encourage and motivate someone else to do the same. When you don't choose yourself, you start living for everybody else but you. Your energy goes to things that drain you. I know some of y'all have experienced this before. Your happiness takes a back seat. And before you know it, you're exhausted and unfulfilled. How many of us out here have felt that? You've felt unfulfilled and all over the place because, again, your energy is so depleted that you have nothing left to give. And sometimes you feel like it's rock bottom and you feel like you're by yourself and you're alone in isolation. But the reality of it is, when you're by yourself, you still have you. You still have you to feed and to pour into. But because you've given so much to other people, and because like even myself have given so much to other people, that I depleted a lot of myself and a lot of the things that I love to do and a lot of the energy that I gave to other things, I was not giving that to myself. And choosing yourself means acknowledging that you matter too. Your dreams, your needs, your emotions, all of the things, all those things are valid and deserve space. It's time for us to break the stigma, y'all. Listen, a lot of us don't talk about therapy and we don't talk about getting the help we need, the mental help that we need. But it's honestly time to break that stigma. I've been blessed and fortunate enough to be in therapy. I've been in therapy for about a year now. And I decided randomly, like, I need to vent. I need to find a safe space. No, don't get me wrong. I've had a lot of friends that are knowledgeable, even some friends that are therapists, but I had a lot of people to talk to. But I felt like I was dumping on people at one point. Although people do call me for advice as well, but I always felt like I was dumping and I didn't want to be a burden to anyone. So I sought out to get a therapist, and I found an amazing therapist. She's been helping me on my healing journey. And when I tell you, after every session, I feel stronger. I feel more powerful. I feel like I'm getting to know parts of myself that I did not know. I am 37. I'll be 38 in June 27th, teen cancer, Woo, woo. Um, but yeah, I am 37 years old and I felt like I knew myself already. Like, who is going to tell me about myself? I already know me.
Watch yourself before you get checked.
Who gonna check me, boo?
Right. But I am at a point in my life now where I'm realizing there are things about myself that I'm still unpacking. There are things about myself that I'm still learning. I'm all about growth and unlearning behaviors and toxic ways and things that are not beneficial to me in the long run. But I'm willing to take accountability and take the next steps to fulfill my destiny and become a better version of myself for myself. And in order to get to that space, you must be a listener and to take heed to things that your body is telling you, your mind is telling you, your heart is telling you, and also the people around you, what they're telling you, because there's a lot of truth to what people may say, especially when it's a large number of people, saying the same things about you. That may be something that you may need to work on. For me, I can be sensitive about a lot of things and, take offense to certain things that I may not need to take offense to. And that's what I was doing in the beginning before therapy, being very sensitive and vulnerable and defensive to things that may actually could have really been beneficial had I sat down and listened to those things. So hopefully you guys have a tribe around you that can really pour into you, but also keep it real with you. It's so important to keep it real with you on your journey. There's no way that you can survive in this world thinking that nothing is ever wrong or you've never done anything wrong and you're perfect, because you're not. None of us are perfect. So I encourage everybody to seek out help and to get a therapist. And if you don't want to get a therapist, write some stuff down. Take your notes, get your journal out, start reading and writing, because this stuff isn't these things are an outlet for you to really get out of the mindset or that defeatist mindset and get into a place where you are real with yourself and honest with yourself. So again, that you can become the best version of you. There's this idea that choosing yourself is selfish. How many people told y'all you're selfish and you're putting yourself first and how many have heard that? I know I have heard that before. But let's flip that mindset. If you pour everything into others, like I said before, but never refill your own cup, what happens? You end up empty, drained, okay? And sometimes even resentful. And we don't want that, right? Choosing yourself, isn't about not caring about others or caring for others. It's about not abandoning yourself in the process. How many of you guys have abandoned yourself? I know I have abandoned my goals and aspirations, have abandoned my feelings and emotions, right, throughout my life. How many have done that? It's not healthy. Sometimes we neglect ourselves. What are signs that You neglect yourself. You constantly say yes when you really want to say no, right? Or you feel guilty for resting, getting your sleep or doing something just for you. You feel guilty for that. Or buying yourself a gift or doing things for yourself, like self-care days. You feel guilty for that sometimes. You feel exhausted, but you keep pushing yourself anyway. You feel unappreciated or taken for granted. These are all signs that you could possibly be neglecting yourself. I know for me, like, I'm such a giver, and my therapist actually was telling me, she was like, you have this Superman complex. You want to save the world. You have your cape on. And I'm like, I always felt like that was my purpose on this earth, to save as many people as I can save. And I'm not talking about on a religious level, but like in a way of like, hey, if I saw somebody down and out, I wanted to show them that, hey, you don't have to feel like this. You don't have to be like this. I've been there. I know what rock bottom feels like. I know what feeling like you have nobody on your side. I know what it feels like to feel like you're in a dark space, or even when you're around people and you still feel lonely. I've been in those spaces before, and there are heavy emotions and feelings that come along with that. And because I'm in the season of evolution and evolving, I resonate with those things. So when I see people going through it, I'm always encouraging. People are like, oh, you're always so positive and you're always so there. I'm just like, if only they knew my story and my struggle. It's not just about the triumph, right? It's not just about the end goal, but being vulnerable and open through your process, and admitting your faults, and admitting that you're hurting, admitting that you've been neglecting yourself, taking accountability for the things that you have imposed in your own life. It's important to take that kind of accountability, but we're not going to continue to neglect ourselves in this season, y'all. We've been doing it for far too long. So again, if you're constantly saying yes to people and to things when you want to say no, stop it. If you're feeling guilty for just resting or doing something for yourself, stop feeling guilty, because you deserve it. You work hard for that. You're not putting your needs above everybody else. You're just prioritizing the things that you value. You're prioritizing yourself, and that's important, y'all. We gotta get better with that. And when I started prioritizing me, Jevone, I realized that a lot of the things that I was concerned about were not really my concern. There were things and people and places that I was surrounding myself with, thinking that it was beneficial to me, thinking that I was, again, being there to save the day, when reality of it was that I was being taught lessons, through interacting with certain people. And to be honest with you, sometimes you got to go through the lesson. And I believe, I'm a religious man. I believe in God. I'm more of a spiritual guy. I believe that God will continue to show you the same things, take you through the same cycles until you learn, whether that be dealing with people, whether it be dealing, with whether it be the same jobs or the same type of energies you've been surrounding yourself. Sometimes God puts you through that for you to learn your lesson. And until you learn it and figure out your self-worth and figure out why you are so connected to those things, you're going to keep going through those things. I'm telling you, I can attest to it because I've experienced it. And I know I'm not the only one. So we're breaking cycles today, y'all. We're breaking chains. We're regaining our power and our strength, because again, we deserve it. One of the biggest lessons that I learned on my healing journey is that no one else is going to choose me for me. Okay. I had to step up and say, I matter. You have to choose you for you. This is about you and your journey, and saying that you matter. I realized that people benefit from you not having boundaries, but that's their problem, not yours. Okay. Set your boundaries and stand on them. In my healing journey, I've learned that there are a lot of boundaries that I crossed my own boundaries. I crossed my own boundaries, even when it was not beneficial. It's never, well, first of all, it's never beneficial to cross your boundaries, but I've crossed boundaries knowing that it hurt. I crossed boundaries knowing that it could be the demise of me. You know what I'm saying? And again, you never want to cross your own boundaries and go against those things, because at the end of the day, you're going to regret it. You're going to regret it. You're going to end up losing yourself. And to be honest with you, your self-worth diminishes the more and more you cross your own boundaries. And also, let's be very clear, it's important not to cross anyone else's boundaries as well. So if somebody has boundaries and you continue to cross them, that's a you thing. You have to work on that. So let's work on setting our boundaries and also respecting other people's boundaries. And when you do set those boundaries, it's not going to be easy. You may lose some friends, some relationships. Some people may not respect you, right? But as long as you're respecting yourself, some people may not understand. Some relationships will change, but at the end of the mother day, your peace becomes non-negotiable. Okay, your peace becomes non-negotiable, and that's what I had to do, was to set the boundaries for myself. And although I've lost friendships, relationships throughout my life, the right relationships and the right people came into my life that respected those boundaries. You know what I'm saying? So don't be afraid of change, because change is for the betterment of you, especially if you're doing it in the right way. So set the boundaries and set your non-negotiables. And again, you will lose some people along the way. Everybody can't go with you, boo. Everybody can't go with you, man. Like, everybody cannot go along the journey with you. And I had to learn that. I want to take everybody with me. No, nah, we're not doing that. Cut ties with any and everything that is belittling you, that is discouraging you, that hinders you, that burdens you, that doesn't make you feel valued or heard or seen. Cut ties with it. I don't give a damn if it's family, friends, relationships, or whatever. Do it. Do it. When you look at yourself in the mirror, look at yourself and say, I matter. Let me hear you say it. Go ahead. I deserve better. You do. I do. This podcast it's a sense of therapy for me, actually, now that I think about it. This is very, very therapeutic, and I was a little nervous about starting, but I'm feeling really good thus far. So I'm hoping y'all enjoying it so far, and I'm hoping that you guys are taking these gems, and I'm hoping that I'm encouraging somebody. And I'm so grateful for you guys to just listen in and take heed to what I'm saying. So continue to set your boundaries. And listen, boundaries aren't walls, y'all. They're guidelines, okay, for how you allow people to treat you. Okay, it's okay to say no without over explaining. How many of us done that? You say no, but because I got to do something, I got to do that, and I can't do. No, you can say no without over explaining. Protect your time and energy. It's an act of self-respect. Okay, self-care, beyond spa days. Sometimes you got to just sit and just sleep. Go to sleep. Take a nap. Self-care isn't just bubble baths and candles all the time, but they're great. Don't get me wrong. But it's also saying no. It's also getting enough sleep. Unfollowing toxic people on social media. Eating foods that make you feel good, not just to look good. Now, I'm not saying, because some people, listen, some of us got some big backs now. Listen, I'm a big boy. I'm 6'2", 6'3", 240. You can eat good, but you got to also take care of your health, okay? Because your what you eat is a reflection of how you feel, is a reflection of how you think. So eating foods that are nourishing to your body as well. Excuse me, give yourself grace when you make mistakes. I've made plenty of mistakes, and I was down on myself and down and out and feeling low. But in this season, I've been giving myself grace to make those mistakes. Detach yourself from validation. You don't need validation from the world. Validate yourself. I look good. I feel good. I smell good. I'm smart. I'm happy. I'm going to be successful. I'm going to make it. Detach yourself from validation, but validate yourself. Detach yourself from validation from the world, I should say. Validate yourself. One of the hardest but most freeing things in life is learning, to do things for you, not for approval. Okay. How many of us want approval from the world? If I do this, I gotta get approval. I gotta see if this is right. Because I've done that. One of my friends just told me the other day, you get advice from all these people, but you get advice from other people, and then you end up doing what you want to do. And it's like, was seeking approval from other people, but at the same time, I still made my own decisions. But she was like, you don't have to do that. But I like to hear people's perspectives on different things, because sometimes the way that I see things may not necessarily be it, right? And when it comes to validation and stuff like that, ask yourself, if nobody could see your accomplishments and what you were doing, and you didn't get the praise that you wanted, would you still want to do it? Would you still go after your goals? Who are you doing this for? So seeking validation sometimes can discourage you from your end goal. And when you don't get that praise or that recognition, sometimes it doesn't feed our egos and things like that, and we stop doing it. You have to be able to do what you want to do, live how you want to live, without the validation of others, and continue to do it because it's what you want to do for you. Affirmations and mindsets, it's a way of shifting your thoughts. It's a way of shifting your energy. Give yourself affirmations. Set the standard for yourself, for the day, for the year, for the week, for whatever. Set those standards. Words have power. Start your day off with saying things like, I'm worthy of love and care. I choose myself without guilt. What else? My needs are just as important as anyone else's. These things are important. Matter of fact, I want y'all to say that. What did I say? I'm worthy of love and care. Let me hear you say it. I choose myself without guilt. My needs are just as important as anyone else's. Repeat that. Repeat that from time to time to yourself, because you are important. I encourage you guys to take a moment to reflect where you are in your life right now, right? Do you need to start choosing yourself more? That's a question for yourself. Write it down, say it out loud. Make a promise to yourself today. Choosing yourself is a lifelong journey. It's not a one-time decision. God knows it's not a one-time decision. I've made so many mistakes, ups and downs and all the things, but it's a lifelong journey. Healing is a lifelong journey. Some of us have to be reintroduced to ourselves because we have lost ourselves. And some of us are still searching for ourselves. And that's okay too. Give yourself grace, love on yourself, hug yourself, please yourself, in whatever ways you need to do it, but make sure it's healthy. Okay. We want to be healthy in this season. Whether you want to change your diet, whether you want to stop drinking, if it's drugs that you're involved in, if you want to put those things to the side because it's taken over who you are, do what you need to do for you. Now, again, this is no judgment zone, because I've been there, done a lot of things, but I want us to be in a space where we are going to receive blessings, because if you are oppressed and suppressing the things that you need to heal from, you're never going to be able to really reap the benefits of the blessings that are coming your way. So listen, thank y'all so much for taking the time out of your busy days to listen to me. If this has resonated with you and you believe it may resonate with someone else, please share this episode, share this podcast with you. Again, this is Jevone's Perspective, and I am so looking forward to this journey with you guys. We're going to be laughing, joking. We're going to have people. I'm going to have some people on this show as well, from all walks of life, from different backgrounds, because again, I want to continue to encourage my people. And this is me leaving my mark on this world. Whether I go today or tomorrow, God forbid that, is that I'm leaving my mark wherever I go. I've traveled the world. I'm still traveling, but I've done a lot of things. I performed in a lot of stages, excuse me. That reminds me of a song, a song for you, Donny Hathaway. That's one of my favorite songs, by the way. If you haven't heard that, which I'm pretty sure you guys have, listen to that song. But yeah, I want to continue my journey, and I want you guys to come along with me. So are you down to ride or no? I'll see you guys soon. Before you go, I wrote these words about 3 or 4 years ago for a film that I did for my own personal career. And I thought it was so fitting to play these words for you guys today. And I hope that you can take these words wherever you go and remember these words. So have a great morning, have a great afternoon, a great evening, or a great night. Whenever you listen to these words in this podcast, please come back to hear more. We're going to have great conversations in the future on Jevone's perspective. I'm signing out. Peace. Today, I embark on my new journey. While I've endured many obstacles, many restless nights with thoughts of uncertainty, I basked in self-doubt and unworthiness, allowing pessimism to seep through my veins like morphine numbing my spirit. But now walking by faith and not by sight. And with every step I take, I will conquer my fears, gain the courage to take risks, dedicate my time and energy to the things that bring me joy, embrace the endless possibilities of every opportunity, allow the optimism of my now freed mind to flow through my soul like a beautiful melody in a love song. And although the road ahead may seem distant, I promise that it's a road worth traveling, a pathway to blissfulness, following the voice of your heart and reconnecting with your spirit, embracing the challenges and obstacles that life throws at you. Hold on to the wisdom you learn along the way, identify the gifts and talents you possess, heal from the brokenness that you thought destroyed you, and reciprocate the love you receive from those along your journey.